To dream the impossible dream. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by opposing end them. To die, to sleep, no more. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished. To die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death what dreams may come, when we have shuffled off this mortal coil, must give us pause. William Shakespeare's Hamlet. As Kurt Cobain sang, "All in all is all we are." This statement succinctly recognises that what we don't know is where we haven't looked yet. Your current boundaries, intellectual, spiritual, geographical, were once unknown places, and there is something to be said about an adventurous heart and spirit, that it is insatiable, never satisfied. The future is fluid, and we can only handle it a teaspoon at a time. This is why it's so hard to think about the future and predict with much accuracy what will happen. As we increasingly know more and can change so many things, the present can turn on a penny. So, is the future broken? Are we racing towards a brick wall like the supposed trap we can never escape as described by Malthus? Or are we able to self-rescue from the darkest of our fates through the power of technology combined with human ingenuity? Homo sapiens is a confusing species. We attempt altruism and end up with consumerism. We are moral people, but we choose politicians who do not necessarily make the most moral decisions for our grandchildren. At the time of writing, we are watching with bated breath as to whether our societies will choose the status quo from before the COVID-19 pandemic, or if it's possible to dump some baggage. The answers and languages we should be prioritising are those that come from STEM, because they adapt to new information, they evolve with currency, and they are always checking whether they are significant or not. This is why I trust in STEM and the people who choose to study these fields. That said, there is a difference between surviving and living. Living means we need to especially understand what it means to have a soul. This is where the creative arts lead, and I follow. My maternal great-great-great-great-great-grandfather was Edward Hodges Bailey. I'm sure you've never heard of him, but you may know some of his works, such as the statue of Horatio Nelson on the top of the biggest column in Trafalgar Square, London. Here is where science, art, history and patriotism met, and what a challenge. Sculpture is the area of the art world that I am most drawn to, likely because of the science and engineering involved as an active part of creativity. And nature is creative too. I like looking up when walking through a city and checking on the plants that shouldn't be there, the trees and grasses that grow out of drains or cracks in the cement. I guess it's because I have an affinity for the rebellious, and Mother Nature is certainly a rebel, an untamable power, and a power that could destroy all we have created if we don't start respecting her more, and fast. After this decade, and the one following, we will move on to Industry 6.0, in which technology and nature coexist for the protection of all, powered by quantum computing and technologies we haven't even heard of yet, outside of whisperings in labs and philosophical chats in the pub. To get to this utopia, we must take on or continue a few fights on a few fronts. Social license based on STEM, digital literacy and equality. Technology existing for all and the monopoly of technology belonging to no one entity. We have to protect competition in this space. Celebrating scientific achievements the way we currently celebrate sporting ones, and the need for the media, movies, TV and social media and new immersive technologies and games to capture the hearts and minds of everyone and be representative of the whole of society. AI could help us cure cancer. AI could also potentially be involved in propaganda and control. We know that drones can deliver vaccines. drones can also fire guns and kill people. When we look at planet Earth and the ocean, cutting-edge technology and solutions are not equally available around the world. When we look at food security, when we look at satellite communications, when we look at flying to Mars, not everybody has the same fair go. So many of the emerging technologies we need to drive a positive future are already here. What do we want to do with them? We have to get better at opening up education opportunities for people like you to come and experience what these technologies actually look like, what they could mean, what they could be, and also to challenge the assumptions around the economics, governance, and politics of some of these technologies. Challenge it all. The future is already here. Strive for what you want. Apple's Think Different advertising campaign. Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius, because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones who do. To the crazy ones, part of Apple's Think Different advertising campaign. About the author. Dr. Catherine Ball is an academic, an entrepreneur, a mother, and a bit of a rebel. A global visioneer for X Prize on climate and environment, an advisor to startups, scale-ups, and organisations changing the world for the better, Dr. Cath is a thought leader who is constantly learning and evolving across global projects. An internationally award-winning businesswoman, an active ally, and a loyal friend, Dr. Cath can normally be found reading books, having passionate discussions, supporting the arts, backing women's sports, and hanging out with her young family. You can connect with her at www.drcatherineball.com. Acknowledgements. A special welcome to anyone who reads the acknowledgements before reading the book itself. Hello there, you rebel. I like the cut of your jib. Big thanks to my editorial and publishing teams, without whom these words would not be here. I couldn't do anything interesting or demanding of my time without the love and support of my husband, Jeremy, aka J-Dog. Thank you for being my biggest supporter and the best dad I could have ever dreamed of for my sons. I am so glad I commingled my DNA with yours. To my boys, Nate and Nick, who make me laugh in ways I never knew I could. I love you both to infinity and beyond. You've been the saving of me and the making of me as a mother. To my family, the ones who raised me and loved me unconditionally, I hope I have made you proud, especially you, Mum. To my mates, oldest and newest, and the men and women who opened doors for me and lift me up at every opportunity, you're the brothers and sisters I never had, especially you, Britt. To Jotica and Genevieve, who have shown me so many new horizons and shone a spotlight on me so that others would notice and take interest, I really will never be able to repay you for your kindness and acknowledgements. Thank you both. To my future family, far and wide in space and time, and all that the future connection of the next generations could be. And to you, dear reader, see you in the metaverse. Get in touch. Dr. Cath never gives the same presentation twice, with each conversation carefully curated to excite, entertain, challenge, educate, or scare the wits out of your audience. You can choose which style you prefer. From boardroom briefings on emerging topics of interest to project design and direction via large conference events. Get in touch to learn more at www.drcatherineball.com. You have been listening to Converge, a futurist's insights into the potential of our world as technology and humanity collide. Written and narrated by Dr. Catherine Ball. Recorded at Safe House Studios, Sydney. Edited and produced by Sydney Audiobook Production 2023. The end.